now tuned in to the ultimate sounds. You know what time it is. Laying down the hardcore, real, raw, underground.
Welcome to the Ambassador of Hardcore podcast, presented by Neophyte.
Get the point? Let's dance.
Welcome to the Ambassador of Hardcore podcast. From now on, every first Friday of the month, I give you the best music, and we start the first one with an interview of a hardcore legend. So, the first podcast, the first guest is Raji.
Yeah, baby.
So, man, tell me, and I really want to know this already for 27 years, what's your drive to keep on doing this?
I mean, my drive is the music itself, and I don't mean to sound cliche. I mean, I just really, really enjoy coming up with an idea and then, writing that idea down, whether it's lyrically or musically, and then going in the studio, recording it, and then the ultimate, celebration is then getting to perform in front of the people and just seeing the reaction of the crowd.
That's true, but I know myself that it's not easy to do this because you're always on the road. You have to travel, and for you it's even harder because you have to come every time over here. For you've been do this for so long. I mean, I would kind of sometimes say, I'm tired.
I mean, sometimes of course. I mean, with between all the traveling, whether it's on a plane, a train, a boat, sometimes. I mean, I always have like some sort of recording device with me to at least get like the general idea down, and you just have to make that time. I mean, so when usually what I do is, no matter where I'm going, whether it's the Netherlands, Australia, Asia, or whatever, I always make sure I have at least 2 to 3 weeks at home at a time where I don't do anything except maybe a gig in New York or maybe another part of the States where I fly to LA, then fly right back. And just will, schedule whatever I've been creating on the road, in the studio. And of course, sometimes when I'm, abroad, especially in the Netherlands, since I have so many friends here, like you, maybe I'm doing a collaboration, or maybe I'm just asking a friend to, hey, can I use your studio to get this idea down? That
right.
Yeah.
Let's talk about USA and Europe, or actually USA and Holland. I've been to your country a lot. And
yes.
From the 95, I was there the first time.
At least 95,
And in my opinion, I didn't really see it change much. Or is it me, or what's your opinion? I mean, people-wise, the crowd. It was always kind of. When I was there, I felt it was very rock, hip hop orientated, not real rave like here. What do you think?
I think that's because of the music that we were playing, because the ravers. I mean, that wanted to hear hardcore, whether it was at the Limelight or at a rave or something. They definitely came from the rave scene, but especially in the 90s, if we're talking, a lot of these kids were also into hip-hop and rock and metal.
I mean, is it different nowadays? Or?
Well, yeah, because back then, a lot of the kids that were ravers were already, into rock and metal or whatever, where in the 90s here, I remember asking, any of the gabbers in the crowd. Yeah, I said gabbers as opposed to gabbers. I'm proud of my Dutch G. Most of them, maybe not you, of course, because they came from house music or from some dance sort of music. It wasn't so much like people liked rock and metal, then went into the rave scene. Now, there's the youth that is listening to the music now. They still have a very open mind, and they like their Linkin Parks and their Red Hot Chili Peppers and System of a Downs. But they also, what's interesting now is so you had hardcore was very popular in the 90s in America, and then it kind of faded a little. Didn't go away, but it definitely you know, because like they used to have a hardcore stage at big festivals like EDC, which you played, you know, as did I, and then it kind of went away, and then you know there was this big EDM explosion, you know, all over the world, but we're talking about America, and a lot of those kids, you know, they're listening to their Tiesto or whatever, but then they want something a little harder, and then here's this thing called hardstyle, which was spawned from hardcore, which the EDM kids found next, and now a lot of the kids who were exposed to, you know, say someone like a Headhunters or a Wild Styles or whatever, now want something a little harder, and now they're finding people like myself, you know, I've been there already, or, you know, an Anger Fist or something like this. So I've seen it like come full circle.
Yeah.
It was like hardcore was there already, and then it kind of like, you know, chilled a little bit. Well, the rave scene was really associated with drugs. Yeah. So that's why you had... What a surprise! So, yeah, I mean, like, that's why, like, you know, the police or the, you know, the city government or whatever would, you know, was always like, it wasn't so easy to find the right venues, you know, to do things.
One time I played with you in, I think it was Massachusetts. And I was DJing, and literally on the stage came a police officer next to me.
He was a fan.
Asking for my ID.
Oh.
He was not a fan.
Not a fan.
I just want to say, because of that, I think it didn't get the chance to really get huge.
Not at that moment. No. You know,
now it is.
Yeah, well, yeah, because now, because like I said, because of, you know, the EDM explosion, like things became very corporate and very organized and very legal. And now, like I said, this younger generation is starting to discover more of the harder styles, and now hardcore, you know, as well. Yeah. Whereas back then it was still like underground, you know, unless it was at like, you know, a big club like the Limelight or something.
Yeah, which was also still underground.
Yeah. Yeah, the people who threw it were stuck on Earth, and actually this guy Jeff Cohen, who was one of the owners, he just passed away. So rest in peace, Jeff. I mean, but he like really believed in giving like hardcore a shot at like a festival like that too.
Yeah, there were many guys there in the time who really, you know, were really into it, and I always thought, you know, it's going to be big here, but.
And see, and that's the thing too. At that particular time, Stuck on Earth was doing exactly what Insomniac was doing on the West Coast, because I would play like EDC. And that was smaller back then. Maybe it was 30,000 people in total, and that's what these Stuck on Earth boo parties were doing. About 30,000 people in total, with like 5 to 6 stages. And they would never have. That was the first year they did hardcore, because I talked, you know, the promoter into it, and he's like, okay, we'll give it a shot. He gave me a budget. I booked you. I think I booked Ferry and Mark also. And then some other local guys, and yeah, it went over really well. And I wish that's another problem that with New York. So many times promoters would just either stop, or too many promoters would jump in the pot and call the police on each other.
Yeah, that's what happened a lot.
You know, instead of like trying to, we'll take that date, take that day and work together.
That's actually what I meant.
Oh, that's what you meant.
There was this politic fight, jealousy
between the promoter. Yeah, absolutely.
And over here, that was from the beginning. They always try to not cooperate, because also here it's all competition, but they speak to each other.
Right.
Like, you know, if you do this date, we'll do this date, and.
Yeah, like in the 90s, it kind of was like that, but as we moved into the early 2000s, where I said it kind of like went back underground, this is when this sort of shit started happening.
Yeah, it's all about this again, money.
That, and sometimes it was something as stupid as the promoter that wasn't having a party that night didn't get to have their DJ on the party that was playing, so like, I'm going to call the police on you, because I'm not playing, and blah, blah, blah. You know, really, sometimes it was really something as childish as that.
Yeah, I remember.
And then as the years would go on, maybe there would be like different organizers, but they had the same sort of behavior. So that's another reason, like in New York, is always like starts to have a moment and then it gets back down. You know, they really kind of eat each other.
Yeah, eat each other. And I also remember it was big, of course, in Los Angeles. In
LA.
Also in '97, I played there for the first time, until I guess 2005, and then it sort of died out. Died out, but I
Yeah,
don't
if
know.
you're talking specifically like the Insomniac parties.
Yeah.
Well, I think at that time Insomniac just stopped doing any sort of hard style, any sort of hard dance at all. You know, like I said, the '90s was a hardcore stage into the very early 2000s. Then there was nothing. Then I think sometime in the late 2000s is what they had a Q dance stage.
Yeah. I was there
2010 or something like that.
No, it was not Los Angeles. It was in.
By that time, it was in Las Vegas. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because it used. Well, it was never actually in Los Angeles.
2009, 2010. I was there, I think.
Yeah, and then it was called a Q dance stage, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then something happened between them, and now it's a BassCon stage. BassCon Wasteland. BassCon is their hard dance brand.
Wow.
Hard style brand or
cool.
hardcore brand.
Okay. Yeah. What I would like to know from you is how would you like to see the future of hardcore?
I mean, I would like to see it just get as big as it can be, and then even become bigger than that. I mean, I like, you know, the stuff that we do, because we like always like incorporate like, you know, like rock and metal and maybe a little. At least I do a little vibe of like some old school hip hop. Because
sorry to interrupt you. Because I feel a lot of times, and especially the last 5 years, I was kind of stuck a bit in the studio. You know, it has to be like this, and now I thought
you have to say fuck it.
Fuck it.
Fuck it.
And that's good, but yeah, I don't know. What do you think? It's like people don't really have the balls anymore.
You're right. I mean, but I always say fuck it. I mean, that's why, you know, I guess my career has, you know, been like, you know, but at the end of the day, I could sleep. I could sleep at night because I'm being real with myself, and
yes.
I'm obviously I'm still here, and I'm still making. I just turned 50, you know, and I'm still making a living at this. You know, I have this saying that, you know, the only way the only way you can live your dream is if you can, you know, make a living at it, and so. Yeah, I always take chances, but to me, I don't even feel like I'm taking chances. I'm just doing what I feel.
I like to do.
Exactly. And, you know, sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. I hate when I get into the studio with someone and they pull up, like, the latest fucking thing. It's, oh, we got to do this. I'm like, no, we do not. You know, I don't want to copy what someone else did. It's one thing to be inspired by something, but, like, I mean, I've had some, we'll go nameless, but I've had, you know, some, you know, other producers, like, literally pull up, like, a previous session and say, oh, we're just going to fucking do this. And like, no, I'm not interested in that, you know, and I'm not interested in making the trying to make a new hit from the latest hit. You know, I think there's too much of this cookie cutting blueprint fucking bullshit, you know, like there's not too many, like you just said it perfectly. I don't think there's too many people taking chances.
Yeah.
You know, they're like, oh, this is not what's going on right now, you know, so we're going to do this. We're going to change the kick every fucking 6 seconds and do this kind of this and that and this kind of arrangement. And I think there's a lot of great engineers right now, but there's even less great producers and there's even less great writers.
Yep.
Like, there's a bunch of geeks who fucking know.
Professors.
Look at me. I'm going to make a fucking hardcore track, you know, and like, and they're good. You can make something sound good. You know, but
it has got no soul.
Right, and maybe the production as far as the technical aspect is there, but not the part that comes from your mind, like a genius like Rick Rubin, who we're both a big fan of. And definitely not the writing, because of most of the times, like, they're just stealing some fucking hip-hop record, some rock record, and, you know, putting a kick drum and maybe multiple kick drums and, oh, look at my new song that everyone's singing. Yeah, everyone's fucking singing it because it sold 40 million copies, like when fucking System of a Down did it the first time, you know?
True.
Yeah. Mic drop.
Yeah, we always laugh. We know each other a long time very well.
Yes.
So, thanks for the interview. Thanks for the interview.
My pleasure.
I'm gonna make it very hard for you now. Tell me your best ever, your favorite hardcore track ever. That's really hard, I know.
It's really hard.
And it can be old school, now.
Yeah.
90s, Millennium, anything. What's the best ever track?
For me, it's going to be one of the songs that introduced me to it, and that would be LA Style, James Brown is Dead.
Cool.
No.
James Brown is dead.
kan op me springen, je kan op me stampen. Je kan me negeren, je kan op me trappen. Je kan soms proberen om me te verbannen, maar je moet accepteren dat er niks verandert. Geboren uit frustratie. We zijn de hardste. We zijn onkruid. En onkruid vergaat niet. Want wij zijn onkruid en onkruid vergaat niet. Zie de status is onkruid en onkruid vergaat niet. Je kan ons willen tegenhouden, maar dat gaat niet. Want wij zijn geboren uit frustratie. We zijn de hardste in elke situatie. Je kan ons willen tegenhouden, maar dat gaat niet. Want wij zijn onkruid en onkruid vergaat niet. Geboren uit frustratie. We zijn de hardste. We zijn onkruid. En onkruid vergaat niet. Maar denk dan niet dat ik boos ben, omdat ik psycho niet goed bij mijn hoofd ben. Legendarisch, je bent wat te laat. Zie de status is onkruid en onkruid vergaat niet. Je kan ons willen tegenhouden, maar dat gaat niet. Legendarisch, je bent wat te laat. Je kan op me springen. Je kan op me stappen. Je kan zo proberen om me te verbannen.
Ja, onkruid vergaat niet. Welcome to the first ever episodes of the Ambassador of Hardcore podcast. A new podcast I've started. About 4 years ago I've done one too, but this is a very different one. I want to share with you what I know about hardcore, how I feel about it, and how I see hardcore as a lifestyle, because that's what it is, I think, a lifestyle. It's not only music, but of course the music plays a big part. Stop talking and let's start.
Who do you think you are? I can't be stopped. I'm living this to the day that I die.
This is the Millennium Track of the Month.
Release all the rage. Let the beast out the cage. Release all the rage.
Yeah, the thing I like about the Millennium style, Millennium time, is that there's not really one style. As you heard, there was 3 different tracks, 3 different styles. First was Base Alert Zoo, second was Evil Activity, State of Emergency, and third Meagashira, Sworn. And as you can hear, it's all, to me, 3 different vibes, 3 different styles. And that's what I really liked about that area. Okay, coming up next, it's called an item called Gamechanger. And what I mean by that, a track that changed the game, yeah? So a track that really stood out and changed something in the scene sort of thing. So for the first one, I picked one really long time ago. It was 1993, and to me it's a personal favorite in this time, like in the Energy Hall, it's called, you know. This track, when I heard it for the first time, you know, just imagine a really dark hall with all new music, new vibe, and new experience, and then this suddenly came up. The track is unmixable as well. It just speeds up, but I don't know. Just imagine yourself go back in that time in a really dark tunnel, super loud sound system. And then check after the drums the sound. You can imagine people went crazy. This is Genetic Waste.
This is a game changer.
Yeah, I hope your people are still there. Quite a different experience than the hardcore music or stuff that you hear now. Yeah, the thing about that time too, the tracks just, I don't know, lasted longer. That was longer loops. Now everything is cut very quick. But yeah, I thought I'd just play this one out so you can, I don't know, get the experience a bit. So yeah, I've been around for a long time, of course, and the 90s were a big part of the whole experience, hardcore experience, of course. So let's do something else and go back to the real, I call it early rave. And I thought for this first episode, I really select early rave, like in the words rave. Check this out. It's not very fast in BPM, but it's sort of like from the time 93, 94 as well. The track is called Naked Steel, artist Vive La France. After that I play a few more from that time. Check it out and have fun.
Early track of the month.
I'm the fuck you man. Yeah, Wedlock, I'm the fuck you man. After Naked Steel it was Noise Connection, A.U.T.I.S, and after that was Citrus, Fascination. Good thing about that era too, it's kind of the same thing as the Millennium time. A lot of different styles, different vibes, a lot of experimenting at the time. I just love it. Okay, hardcore in the most broad word that we can imagine. When we say hardcore, we also have to mention happy hardcore. Everybody's, it's got a still to me a bit of a stigma thing when you say happy hardcore. But to me, happy hardcore is pretty broad. And there's a big history about it. A bit of history is that the first Baby Boom release, I think it was Baby Boom, was the Scotchman. And that's actually Scott Brown. It's a funny story. He came to Holland with his demo tape, and he wanted to, he had this tape. He said, okay, I'm Scotty, so I want to release my music in Holland. And this label said, okay, cool, we'll try it. And the rest is history. The Scotchman, happy vibes.
This is the Happy Hardcore Track of the Month.
Yeah, and don't you just love this vibe and this music? So this was Genaside, Fuck You, and in between those two tracks was DJ Paul, Pump This Party. He was actually the first one who brought the happy hardcore or UK sound over to Holland. Now, the last item of this month, of this first episode, of course, we're gonna play new stuff. It's fun to listen to history, but what is hardcore without future? So, time for new music from the Neophyte Records label. This is GridKiller, the Immortal.
Hottest new track of the month.
Prepare for the battle of the decade. GridKiller. Unfused. The Immortal. Fight. The Immortal. They call him the Immortal Swordsman. A warrior like none other. Unmatched in speed, strength, and savagery. He defeated every challenger, man and beast. None lasted more than a few minutes. Most, not more than a few seconds. Light the fuse and unchain the killer. Fight. Only for the juice of one animal. The human animal.
I am the Lord of Justice in this place. Do you understand? Without order. I am the definition of what is fair and what is not. I am the source of all right and wrong, the Lord of justice in this place. Without rank, without order, without a chain of command, life cannot endure. Chaos will reign. Do you understand? Without rank, without order, without a chain of command, life cannot endure. Chaos will reign. Do you understand?
And this was Hellsystem and Restrained, Lord of Justice. Cool. This was almost the first episode of the Ambassador of Hardcore podcast. I hope you enjoyed this one. I did. I mean, it's new again. Have to get back into the sort of radio making kind of thing, but I have to be honest, I do like it. Cool. So I'm gonna say goodbye to you. Last track is from me and Paul and Alee, and it's called Icon. See you next month. Ciao. Bye bye.
Tats on your body, posters on the wall. Nobody does it like this, so fuck them all. Raise those flags up, it's time to go loco. Soldiers around the world, push up the logo. I ain't new to the game, the trademark my name. Fuck the fame, no pain, no gain. Everywhere I go, people call me the Don. I'm a motherfucking icon.
Something like this. Something like this. Hit it!
This was a brand new episode of the Ambassador of Hardcore podcast by Neophyte. Thanks for listening. See you next month.